Go to your spice cabinet right now. Pull out whatever ground spice is closest. Garlic powder, cumin, paprika, anything. Pour a small amount into your palm. Rub it between your fingers for 5 seconds. If the aroma hits immediately, sharp, present, alive, the volatile oils are still in the spice. That's what you're actually cooking with. If it smells faint, dusty, like a memory of the spice rather than the spice itself, the oils evaporated, months ago probably, in a warehouse somewhere between the farm and your kitchen. Long before the jar reached your cabinet, you've been adding powder to your food and calling it seasoning. That jar has a best-by date 2 years from now. It was already losing its flavor when you bought it. Subscribe and let's open the cabinet. McCormick has been in American kitchens since 1889, and the Red Cap has been in more of them than any other spice brand in history. Your grandmother had it, your mother had it, and so do you. They also own Lawry's, Old Bay, Frank's Red Hot, French's, Cholula, and Zatarain's. Roughly 40% of the American spice and seasoning market under one roof. That continuity across every label is the entire product. Not freshness, not potency, but familiarity. McCormick sources from up to 80 countries, grinds centrally, and distributes through a national network that takes months to move product from processing facility to grocery shelf. With all that travel, do you think the spice is fresh by the time you buy it? Ground spices lose their volatile oils, the compounds that make them smell and taste like anything, from the moment they're ground. By the time a jar of McCormick garlic powder reaches your cabinet, it's already been months in that process. The best by date is 2 to 4 years from packaging. That date tells you when the powder becomes completely flavorless, not when it was fresh. You've been cooking with stale spice for years and calling the food under-seasoned. McCormick's own website suggests toasting stale spices in a dry pan or frying them in hot oil to revive them. Read that again. The world's largest spice company publishes instructions for how to revive their spices, because by the time you use them, revival is what they need. That's not a tip. That's a confession printed on their own FAQ page. The scale is what creates the staleness. When McCormick sources from 80 countries and distributes to 160, the spice that was alive on a farm in Vietnam or Guatemala enters a supply chain that moves it to a processing facility, then to a regional warehouse, then to a distribution center, then to a grocery shelf, then to your cabinet. Each leg of that journey costs the spice volatile oils it never gets back. The Red Cap is optimized for that journey. The spice inside it was not. Do the rub test on your McCormick cumin right now. Rub it between your fingers for 5 seconds. If you're getting dust with a faint suggestion of cumin rather than a warm, earthy aroma that fills the room, you have the answer. That jar isn't adding flavor to your food, it's adding the color of flavor. In 1938, a chef named Lawrence Frank created a seasoning blend for a single dish at a Beverly Hills steakhouse called Lawry's The Prime Rib. It has salt, paprika, turmeric, onion, and garlic. A tight, purposeful formula designed for one restaurant's specific application. The blend was so good, it became a product. For 7 decades, it stayed essentially what it was. McCormick paid $604 million for it in 2008, and the formula tells you exactly what changed. What was 7 ingredients became 13. Silicon dioxide appeared, an anti-caking agent derived from the same mineral compound in quartz and sandstone. Tricalcium phosphate joined it, calcium silicate too. None of these were in Lawrence Frank's original blend. None of them contribute flavor. All of them exist for the same reason. McCormick's national distribution network moves product through warehouses and regional distribution centers for months before it reaches a shelf. And without anti-caking agents, the powder would clump before it arrived. The original Lawry's didn't need anti-caking agents because the original Lawry's was a regional product that moved fast enough to never sit long enough to clump. McCormick's distribution scale made that impossible, and the chemistry that compensates for the distance is now in every bottle. Shake some Lawry's into your palm and taste it without food. Count how many of the flavors you can actually identify. If salt is the first and last impression, the paprika and garlic in between are doing visual work. The warm orange color in the bottle, more than flavor work. The anti-caking agents are holding together a blend that ran too long between the farm and your kitchen to be holding itself together naturally. We may catch a lot of heat for this, but Old Bay has been a Maryland institution since 1939, when Gustav Brunn created a seasoning blend for Chesapeake Bay blue crabs using 18 spices. The formula was regional. The distribution was local. The yellow can moved off shelves fast enough that nothing in it had time to degrade. McCormick acquired Old Bay in 1990, and the yellow can became national. Walmart, Target, Kroger, coast to coast. And with national distribution came the same math that changed Lawry's. Cans of Old Bay sitting in McCormick's warehouse network for months needs anti-caking agents to survive the journey. Silicon dioxide arrived. Calcium stearate followed. Neither was in Gustav Brunn's formula. Both are in the can on your shelf now. The celery salt that gives Old Bay its character is a volatile compound. The paprika that gives it its color and warmth loses its oils, the same way every ground spice does. What you're buying from McCormick's national distribution chain is an approximation of what moved off regional shelves in 1989. The same architecture of ingredients, the same yellow can, the same Maryland heritage on the label, and a formula that now requires chemistry to survive the supply chain Gustav Brunn never designed it for. Open your Old Bay. Smell it. That faint chemical undertone under the celery salt. That's the anti-caking system, not the seasoning. You may still love it, and that's fine. Just know it's not as honest as you thought it was. In millions of Latin American and Caribbean kitchens, the sound of a Goya Sazon packet tearing open is the beginning of Sunday dinner. Rice, pernil, sofrito, 3 generations of cooking in that foil packet. The seasoning that turns plain rice golden is one of the most emotionally loaded products in the grocery store. The original Sazon got its golden color from achiote seeds, the annatto plant that Caribbean and Puerto Rican cooks have used for centuries, a natural pigment that flavors and colors simultaneously. It's a real ingredient doing 2 real jobs. Flip the current Goya Sazon Completa packet over. Monosodium glutamate is the first ingredient, not the second, not the third. First. By weight, there is more MSG in that packet than anything else inside it. After MSG comes salt, then garlic, cumin, coriander, then yellow 5, and red 40. Petroleum-derived synthetic dyes that guarantee batch-to-batch color consistency at scale. The achiote is still in the formula, but it's playing back up to industrial color chemistry. Achiote is an agricultural product that varies by harvest, by season, by source. Industrial dyes don't vary. They hit the same color every time, regardless of where or when they were grown, because they weren't grown anywhere. They were made in a factory. Goya needed consistency across a national distribution footprint, and synthetic dyes deliver it more reliably than any seed ever will. The cultural color is now being manufactured in a chemical plant. The MSG is doing the same job. Real spice complexity requires quality ingredients in precise ratios. MSG lets you reduce expensive spices and replace them with cheap sodium and glutamate while delivering the same immediate savory signal. The grandmother's recipe the packet evokes built its flavor through actual spices. The packet achieves that flavor signal through a shortcut. A MSG-free Goya Sazon exists. It's in the same aisle, costs more, and contains the formula the original packet should have kept. Goya made the clean version expensive and the synthetic version affordable and put both on the same shelf. That's not a product line. That's a pricing decision. More taco seasoning packets are sold every year than any other seasoning blend in America. Most people assume the packet is mostly spices. Tear one open and read past the chili pepper and cumin. Enriched wheat flour is in there, corn maltodextrin. Neither contributes flavor. Neither contributes nutrition. Both are thickeners that create the saucy coating when you add water to the pan. And both bulk up the packet so it feels like a full serving of seasoning. You're paying spice rack prices for wheat flour and corn starch mixed with actual seasoning. A processed food engineered to feel like a kitchen staple. Open a McCormick taco packet and open a jar of ground cumin and smell them side by side. The cumin smells like a plant, warm, earthy, present. The packet smells like a category, like generic taco night, like a product designed to taste like everyone's memory of tacos rather than any actual spice. The wheat flour and maltodextrin aren't in there to serve your dinner. They're in there to serve the supply chain, thickening a sauce that would be thinner if the spices were potent enough to carry it alone. Fresh, potent chili powder and cumin don't need a thickener. They do the work on their own. The thickener is there because the spices aren't doing what they should, because they've been in the McCormick distribution network long enough that what's left needs help. Rub any ground spice between your fingers. 5 seconds. If the oils are there, you'll know. If they're not, you've already been told. Every brand in the last 5 sections is selling you the ghost of a spice that was alive when someone harvested it. The supply chain created every problem. The chemistry covered it up. Subscribe and check out the grocery store cheat sheet in the description. It's everything we expose on this channel in one printable guide. Now let's see the 4 brands that still smell and taste like something. Simply Organic is at Walmart, Target, Kroger, and most mainstream grocery chains. It's not a specialty brand requiring a detour to a natural food store. It costs $1 to $2 more per bottle than the McCormick Red Cap next to it on the same shelf. The USDA organic certification prohibits synthetic anti-caking agents, irradiation, and artificial preservatives. That's not a marketing claim. It's an enforceable standard with real consequences for violations. McCormick can't put silicon dioxide in a Simply Organic jar. The certification structure prevents the supply chain chemistry that makes the Red Cap what it is. Without anti-caking agents, Simply Organic has to rotate stock faster. Faster rotation means fresher spice. The certification that sounds like a health benefit is actually a freshness mechanism in disguise. Every anti-caking agent on a spice label is an admission that the spice was going to be in the supply chain long enough to clump without chemical assistance. The USDA organic standard removes that option. It forces the business model to compensate with turnover instead of chemistry. Fresher stock arriving more frequently rather than older stock held together with silicon dioxide. The organic certification is doing something the label never explicitly claims. It's telling you the spice couldn't have been sitting as long as the conventional alternative. Simply Organic garlic powder contains 1 ingredient, organic garlic. Do the rub test. The difference from the McCormick Red Cap is immediate. The easiest upgrade in the spice aisle. Same store, same checkout line, $1 to $2 more, and nothing in it exists to compensate for a supply chain that moved too slowly. The person who grabbed Trader Joe's garlic powder instead of McCormick because it felt slightly more intentional, maybe the label looked cleaner, maybe it was $1 less, made the right call without knowing why. Trader Joe's single spice jars carry no anti-caking agents, no silicon dioxide, no tricalcium phosphate, no calcium silicate. The garlic powder is garlic. The cumin is cumin. The California garlic powder sources domestically from California farms, which means the supply chain between harvest and your cabinet is shorter than anything McCormick routes through 80 countries and a global distribution network. Shorter supply chain means more of the volatile oils survive the journey. The rub test reflects it. The turnover helps too. Trader Joe's stores have a limited footprint and a cooking-forward customer base. Product moves faster than it does in a national chain with 4,000 locations. Faster turnover means fresher stock on the shelf when you walk in. It costs less than Simply Organic. It's at a physical store rather than online like Penzeys. For anyone who doesn't have a Trader Joe's nearby, it's not the answer. But for the 500+ locations across the country, this is the easiest, no additive swap in the aisle. Same price as McCormick, none of the chemistry. Bill Penzey Sr. started selling spices in Wisconsin in the 1950s. His son, Bill Jr., built the retail business that now operates over 70 locations nationwide alongside a direct-to-consumer website. No corporate acquisition, no private equity, no $604 million sale to a company optimizing a national distribution network. Nearly 70 years of independence from the consolidation that reshaped every other brand in this video. The business model depends on freshness in a way that McCormick's doesn't. Penzeys operates its own stores with fast turnover. Product moves off shelves before it has time to degrade the way warehouse-distributed spices do. They list country of origin on every product. They offer multiple single-origin varieties of the same spice because they understand that Vietnamese cinnamon and Indonesian cinnamon are different products from different agricultural environments, and that difference is worth preserving rather than blending away. Open a jar of Penzey's Vietnamese cinnamon. The aroma is immediate and specific, warm, sweet, slightly floral, complex, in a way that McCormick cinnamon stopped being somewhere between the harvest and the Red Cap. That's not marketing language. That's what cinnamon smells like when the volatile oils are still in it. You've just never experienced it from a grocery store jar. Because the supply chain that gets spices to grocery stores is too long to preserve it. Available online and in retail stores in major markets, more expensive than anything else in this video. Worth the comparison. Order 1 jar, make the same dish you've made 100 times, and find out what your spices were supposed to be doing. Ethan Frisch spent years doing humanitarian work in Afghanistan when he walked into a cobbler spice market and discovered that the cinnamon there smelled nothing like cinnamon at home. Not a little different. Nothing like it. He came back and built Burlap and Barrel around a single question. What happens to spices between harvest and your kitchen? And what's lost along the way? We now know it's the supply chain, and spices lose volatile oils from the moment they're ground. McCormick's chain is months. Burlap and Barrel's chain is weeks. They source single-origin spices directly from smallholder farmers, pay 2 to 10 times commodity prices, publish the sourcing details so anyone can trace a specific jar to a specific farm, and move the spices to your kitchen fast enough that the oils are still there when you open it. Their royal cinnamon from Vietnam, an heirloom variety from mountain farms near Hue, hits with immediate warmth and a sweet finish that lingers past the last bite. Not because it's a better type of cinnamon, because it hasn't been sitting in a warehouse long enough to lose what makes cinnamon worth using. Every anti-caking agent in the fake sections of this video exists to solve a problem that freshness eliminates. Silicon dioxide because the spice sat long enough to clump. Maltodextrin because the potency degraded enough to need a thickener. Synthetic dyes because the color faded in transit. Burlap and Barrel doesn't need any of it because they solved the problem at the source instead of compensating for it at the packaging facility. A single jar costs more than most people spend on 3 McCormick bottles, but the intensity surprises everyone who uses it the first time. A 1/4 teaspoon does what a full teaspoon of the Red Cap couldn't. Less per dish. More per jar than you expected. The math works out closer than it looks. Go back to your spice cabinet, pick up the jar you started with, rub it between your fingers again. You know what fresh smells like now. You know what stale smells like. You know which one you've been cooking with. In March 2026, McCormick announced a $44.8 billion merger with Unilever's food division. When the deal closes, one corporation will own the Red Cap in your spice cabinet, the Lawry's on your counter, the Old Bay in your pantry, the Hellmann's in your refrigerator, and the mustard on the door. The combined company projects $600 million in annual cost savings. The label has a best by date 4 years out. The oils left months ago. The jar looks exactly the same either way. Comment B2E if you made it to the end. Subscribe to support us and check out the grocery store cheat sheet in the description. It's everything we expose on this channel in one printable guide. Thanks for watching.